Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Okay, let me see. I want to share my screen. Share the screen. Okay, hey guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're gonna have a very laid back session today, and a little bit shortened as well. We'll see. We'll see what sets up at the beginning of the day. It's I've been up like most of the night, so I'm very punchy, and still a lot of things very much in flux. The latest in the election seems to be shifting towards Biden, but I am very skeptical at this point because the data, the betting markets, I think, are more optimistic than the data lets on. It's not a done deal that he wins Nevada, and without Nevada, I think it's really almost impossible for him to win. He's got the margin in Arizona is thin, so he's got to win Arizona, Nevada. Michigan probably will flip his way. Wisconsin probably will flip his way. Pennsylvania is way too wide of a margin for Philadelphia to make up. I mean, they think that they can make up Philadelphia, but I'm not sure with Pennsylvania. So is there is there a way for Biden to win? Yes. Could Trump sabotage the whole thing and sue him out of a win? Yes. Could Trump actually genuinely win in the Electoral College? Yes. So all these reasons really create a big flux. I mean, in a way, I find it baffling at how the market is trading this right now. I mean, the market is sort of, I guess, when you're looking at NAS right now, NAS is strongly up. Basically, a Biden win is a strong NAS rally. And ironically enough, a very bad a bad outcome for the Russell, and that's why you have this big discrepancy between the Russell and the NAS. I don't have the Russell up here, but but you can see. But if Trump wins, I can't see how the Nasdaq is going to perform super well because he's going after the technology companies. He's going to create a lot more tension with China. And it's going to create a much more of a unipolar world for the U.S. And tech really thrives on globalism. So, I find everything very befuddling from a fundamental point of view. And at this point, I'm really not even trying to understand the fundamental point of view because I just think the market really doesn't know. We're just getting these lurchy flows one way or the other. And really, the easiest and most profitable thing is just to follow the flows. If you're looking at our structure, there was winner here, we turned slightly negative slice over here on the move, and you probably, I guess, I didn't, obviously I haven't taken any of the trades yet because I'm just sort of waking up myself. Excuse me, just one sec. Oh, guys, sorry, guys. Oh, God. Okay. Actually, guys, excuse me for just 1 minute. I'm going to step away from the desk for just 1 minute, and I'll be back. Just watch the screens. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the gap, but I've literally turned full Stevie Cohen in the last couple of days, in the sense that I am keeping my oh, what do I hear? What do I hear, Kathy? We hearing some sound here? Ah. Wow, I don't know where, okay. All right, it's weird. I thought I heard some sound. Anyways, as you guys are watching this, by the way, we're getting a clean, clear sell signal in the NAS here. This thing broke, the lows. But what I was gonna say is, I'm turning full Steve Cohen in a sense that I'm keeping my office just freezing cold. I actually open up the window in my office because it really does help you focus and trade. Like staying 65 or below really does help, but it's so cold. I needed to get a sweater. So that's what I was going to say. But if we're looking at setups, our structure just continues to perform really well. Let me just take a look at this. So this broke the lows here, right? So you would have, it would have, I don't know how, this would have been a very, very large move, right? So what was that? Oh, just no, it would have, this actually would have stopped us out on the short here. I'm wrong about this. So this failure would have taken us here and it would have just retraced and stopped us out. We're setting up a second buy candle over here. So all of these long trades would have worked very well. This first short trade would have been a fake out, because if we took this candle over here. On the other hand, if we had just taken this candle over here, I'm not sure. Now, this setup would just simply, this particular setup wouldn't have worked. But it's clear that we're starting to sell off a little bit. And I actually, for my own account, before we start, I'm feeling pretty good about selling this. So I'm gonna see if I can sell this underneath here. So it looks like, what do we got? About 38 seconds. I'm gonna see if this trade holds to the lows. Starting to accelerate the selling pressure. I got 28, 29 seconds, and let's see if that works. This move itself is what, 63 to 46. So it's just clearing the volatility, and it may, let's see if this, what do we got? 14, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, boom. Okay, so we're in the trade. Let me modify the trade on my, hopefully I have time. Yeah, I'm sure I have time. So another big move. I don't love taking the big down candles, because you're always going to get the retraces against them. But that's fine. I'm not logged in. I'm way behind everything right now today. Let me see if my account. What account? What is going on with my account here? Okay. AMP, which one account is this? Is this the one, two? This is the one. Okay, B. Schlossberg. Okay, so I think this should be the right one. I'm trying to modify it on the CME servers just to see if I get executed. Yeah, okay, so I am going to be able to get this done. Maybe I won't have time, but we'll see. $40. 80. Modify. All right, I put myself out there, and I can take this off, take this off. Let's see if this completes. This came very close. Woo, this came super close, right? What was my TP on this? 35. Boom. Okay, we're done. All right, so that trade got done nicely on the start. I didn't get a chance to show you the CMEs, but again, so people who are new who are following me, I'm trading futures, not CFDs. On futures, my limit entry does not get done because of the quirk of MT5. MT5 will not put the orders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So therefore, what happens is when the price goes to my limit, then the basically MT5 especially sends a market order. So I get this enormous amount of, sometimes 1.5 points, sometimes I've even had 2 points of slippage, right, to the downside. So to avoid that, I initiate my trade, because the logic of the trade always is algorithmic. I initiate my trade on MT5, but then I transfer over to TradingView. You guys, it's off screen. You guys don't see it. And I actually, because in TradingView, I'm connected directly to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I then establish my stops and limits on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and then I kill the stops and limits on MT5. And what you see, obviously, is I got executed at price. If you look at history, it goes straight up to price, right? So I got executed at price, and that's a key thing. So it just this is the things that we have to do to adjust with the technology that we have. For those of you who are trading CFDs, none of that is a problem, because you're trading with your broker's quote. If your broker's quote goes to bid, it's going to get executed at that price. Anybody take that? Anybody take that trade with me? To the downside on NAS. I don't know who's in the room today. So Connie did. Good job. I mean, that was a clean, clear, obvious trade, and it was relatively easy to do. It also had like all the attributes that we love, which is moving average separation, right? The moving average was kind of wide. We had a failure of the sell. We clearly had, coming into the New York Open, some wobbling as markets grow kind of doubtful as to the outlook. I mean, here's the thing, and again, I'm going to stop talking fundamentals, because at this point I just want to shoot myself. But if the most probable scenario is Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, and Joseph Biden as the President of the United States, how does that create a fertile environment for coordinated fiscal policy? And why are the markets reacting so positively? That's what I find baffling, But the beautiful thing about us is that we don't have to try to surmise the big picture. We can operate on the small picture relatively well. Yesterday, I don't know if those of you who traded with us, that small, that mindset of just trading the market really worked well for us. We hit the moves to the upside when risk was flowing. We hit the moves to the downside when risk goes off, as the markets were going up and down based upon the latest tallies and swings. And the setups, both for Kathy and I, were just beautiful in showing the moves. Remember, the value of our setup is that it promises continuation, right? If we have the setup structurally, and the market really is telegraphing an imbalance of orders to the sell side, to the buy side, we should have continuation for whatever time frame we're trading, and that is really what we're exploiting. That's the beauty of the setup. That's why I love it. It's and also at the same time, you have to understand that's its shortcoming. Its shortcoming is that in a market that has no clear direction, that is incredibly balanced between buyers and sellers. We're always looking for imbalance. Trend is actually imbalance, right? Imbalance with buyers and sellers. That's when we get into trouble, and that's when the smart thing to do is to step away. Also on the news front, by the way, I do have the latest version of the algo, which I haven't tested yet, which I'm going to try and test today, and I'll let you know how that goes. And maybe I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. If it's working to spec, then I'll put it into the Dropbox toolbox, and you could use the algo to, well, it's raw. I think I'm gonna have to add a few features to it, but you can use the algo if you wanted to run it algorithmically. So Krasi is probably very happy to hear that. So at this point, the algo only does one thing. It trades fails. It doesn't trade reversals. So like, for example, if there was a sell signal here, they got, you know, they got reversed, it wouldn't take the trade. It would only take trades in trend. It doesn't take any reversal trades. Yeah, you know, I'm going to test it out, Crossy, and see first of all if it's doing what it's supposed to do and if it's actually triggering the right trades. And if it is, then yeah, I'll, you know, maybe we'll just run it in a demo mode and I'll show it to you and I'll explain it to you. But it should be it should be pretty simple. The algo, as I had them qualified, is we need trend, we need a reference point, we need a failure of the reference point. So if trend is negative, we need a buy reference point, failure of that reference point, then go, then just go, and then have a volatility filter in there too. It's really three rules that keep us in the game. Yes, and is Cheryl in the room? Who's in the room today? Let me see. Maybe Cheryl's not in the room. Cheryl was saying something to me yesterday that made me feel good. Do you remember I talked about Robert Lewandowski? I'm going to torture you with my Bayern Munich fandom. Anyways, I was saying, you know, what makes the guy so dangerous is that he always tries to put the ball in the net. He never quits. He never stops. Doesn't matter how far ahead he is. He always tries to score. And I was saying that, you know, our corollary was that you take the setup. And yesterday, during the day, if you were taking setups, it was just money in the bank. There was like boom, 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 winning. And even in election trading, there was election night. There was a ton of excellent setups that you could have just taken. You know, that I did this in live trading, but then I also did in post live trading, lots of stuff. So yeah, I think it might be this. I'm hoping this one is a very clean, simple, far less code in the EA, so it should trigger. You know, it should be working. So I'm going to test it today, Crossy. I'll let you know. It's going to be one of my to-do things. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, our structure is. I'm also, by the way, soliciting. I'm going to, you know, outsource this to everybody in the room. I'm soliciting names for my scalping setup. Please come back to me with something better than sessions. Please come back to me with something just funner, more catchy. If you have anything, just type it into the box. Let me know what you would like to call this this strategy, because we need to rebrand this thing. I mean, Kathy's got this great name, Zip. Everybody is zipping. Everybody's trading, and I have this blasé, boring name called Sessions. So I need a full rebranding. Okay. So anyways, you know, what I was going to say is, well, we got about 10 minutes before the open. So let's not putz around. Let's take a look at CFDs for just one sec to see if anything, you know, what's going up. So by the way, similar fail trade, much cleaner fail trade, by the way, on the Dow, right? Fail trade was great on the Dow. Nothing on the DAX. The fail trade on the NAS was very similar. So we took this trade. I took this trade on futures, but there was a nice great fail trade on the Dow as well. But what I wanted to kind of take a look at now, because we have a little time, is let me just push this in here to you guys. So boom. This is 1 minute euro, right? And even though, you know, it seems ridiculous to try to trade the 1 minute chart on currencies, you can see that it's actually not a bad strategy, especially, and this is the key thing, especially if we have just a modicum of the key rules: trend, separation, failure. So uptrend, separation of moving averages, and a failure to the upside. That is the highs get taken out. You're in over here at 89, you know, trading 2010, and you know, within you actually make 20 points very easily, right? Same thing, trend, separation, failure to the upside. So what's the high over here? This is 708, right? So what is this trade here? 707. I mean, depending, this is like really within a pip, right? So let's say you were trading 709, that wouldn't take you into the trade until you had maybe this trade, right? Yeah, 709.5. This is a candle that would have taken you had a little bit of a dip, but the trend remained, the structural trend remained trend, and boom, you have a second positive trade. So my point is, when the FX market is not horrible, in a sense that that you have some volatility, and when you have some separation of moving averages, you actually have a trade, right? So these are all sells. I'm looking for failure of buys. So these, you could make a case that this is a failure of the buy, but if we're going to stick to this idea of like, I really like to see just a little bit of separation on the moving average, then really the trigger, the true trigger trade would be this one. This is 107.11, and we're almost right up to 10 pips. Like the beautiful thing about this, and this is where I really am looking forward to putting it on the algo, right? Is this, and the one thing I have to do is get the programmer to create, to put the moving average separation kind of a filter. We probably have to put like I would say I would want, in this case, I really want just at least 1 pip difference. Let's see. I can't even see what the numbers are. Shit, what is the number here? On this particular candle, it's about 14 to 16, right? So the black is around 60. So basically, if I have I guess a 1.5 pip wide is the minimum I need. If I need a 1.5 pip wide on the FX on a 1-minute chart, obviously that shows that yes, there is that there's a lag between the long and the short, suggesting the trend has been in place for a while, and prices, the average prices show a downward tilt, right? And then when you enter, and it really works. And you can take a look at, by the way, let's take a look at pound. I haven't even looked at the pound yet. But I mean, the pound is far cleaner and clearer. So here we have negative trend. The separation between, on this particular candle, that's a 32.35. Again, 2 points. Yes, it meets our 2 points width, right? We have the width of the 2 points, and we break on the low over here, and we're trading 10-20, boom, that's 10 points made here. You get short here 25, that gets done in a minute. Then you have the second candle over here, it gets broken over here, 10-5, boom, it gets done in a minute. Separation stays here, the breaks gets broken over here, boom, you get done in a minute. And even over here, at the point of candle, not at the point of entry, but at the point of candle, if this candle is too wide, and it certainly is, it's probably 4 or 5 wide. That means 4 pips between the black and the light blue. Then the failure candle comes in over here, and you have 5. So like you literally have 50 points of uninterrupted profits in the pound here in the last hour and a half. If you're trading currencies. Just kind of wanted to show you all the possibilities of what's going on. I guess there was a secondary failure here on the NAS. Was it on the futures as well? Yeah. So if I'd taken this one, this would have been another winning trade. But I'm just trying not to take trades ahead of the open. But anyways, it's kind of interesting, right? So it's really interesting, and it shows just how durable and varied this setup is. Like, to me, I would certainly trade currencies on an algo basis, and I would trade indices on a discretionary basis, because currencies don't have a distinct open and close as equities do, where you have massive. I mean, you obviously have volatility pools of when things get heated and when they don't, but by the very nature, that will express itself. If things are very tight, moving averages aren't going to be separated far, and you wouldn't have these big moves to the downside. So I think it's just better it's easier to trade currencies on an algo basis than it is to trade indices. But it works, it works across everything, which is really, really great. I certainly, the other thing is it all depends on your personality and your ability to focus. I find myself that my own performance, I can easily make between, let me just translate back to pips. What was that, like 50, between 20 and 40 pips, right? Between $50 and $100 on a tiny contract, or literally if I'm going to start trading the big contract pretty soon, once I get all the technology organized. Basically, I'm very confident. I've been consistent for the last 10 days on my own account of making at least 20 pips if I'm focused on one product and one product only. But if I kind of look at a portfolio, like if I trade like the way Kathy does, looking at 5-6 different pairs, managing 5-6 different exits, all that stuff, I'm very, very unproductive. I don't have that kind of varied focus. So a lot of it depends on your personality. Do you want, if you scalp and you want to trade short-term time frames, it's probably better to stick to one instrument. If you want to trade, a wide variety of positions, then obviously using an algo and using multiple portfolio approach is probably the better way. The other thing is, of course, with currencies, you can trade so small. You could literally trade for a dime a pip, that you could trade my idea, this algo, on 28 currencies. And obviously, you would have winners and losers all across the board, but the size would be so small that you could manage a much larger position. I still, honestly, I think it's a distinction without a difference, in the sense that if you're looking to make pips, right? I don't know if trading multiple pairs, basically people think, oh, I'm going to trade lots and lots of pairs. That means I'm going to increase my pippage. But you're also increasing your risk of losing, because, first of all, you're trading with 1 to 2, and that means just one bad trade will offset 2 good trades. So if you have a portfolio of 10 positions, just 2 or 3 currency pairs losses will offset the winning currency pairs wins. So I don't necessarily know if like a large portfolio approach is of any value. If at the end of the day, if you have a single focused higher lever, one product approach, could be just as good. But a lot of it is probably personality based as well. I mean, like, I'm actually curious, who likes to run multiple positions versus a single position? Let me know. Tell me what you guys prefer. Also, who's new in the room here? Like, who's new with me? Who's never live traded with me? Chat with me in Chat Ask Boris. Say hi to me, okay? We've got 25 seconds to the open. Yeah, and I think two might be okay. Again, I've thought 2 was okay for me, and then I realized no. I'm so much better at 1. I'm a very, very serial person. I can do one task really well, or a whole bunch of tasks really shitty. And kind of always been that way. So I need to be very, very sequential in my life. So starting to open up a little bit. I'm watching the NAS. I'm watching markets here. Really not a lot. Wow, it's just incredibly, like, it's what, 9:30, and we're not even seeing the ladder move that much. We put the ladder up. Wow. We're up 3%. We're up 3% on NASDAQ, and only 1.5% on S&P, and only 77 basis points on the Dow. So it's quite a lot of difference, and very, very tepid open. Like, the open usually would be like a 50 to 100 point open, and now we're doing nothing. Hey, what's the name? Is it Marlon? What's like the real name here instead of your caller name? So I don't butcher your name. Can you type it out for me? Zen. Okay. Oh, hey, how are you? Um, so Zen, the basic idea of what we do here, and you can pick up all of our tools in Trader Tools ? Everything that I'm using here is available for free, for free for you to use out of this Dropbox. So the indicator that's going to paint all these arrows, the charts, and then the execution applet, which I'm using. This is an MT5 applet. You're probably going to trade an MT4, so we have both. We have both of them in our arsenal. Just watching the open, the Dow really spiked up much higher. We got no signal on the Dow here. If the Dow has a sell arrow that then fails, then gives me a rejection signal the next 10, 15 minutes, and we're still positive, positive slice, we're still positive trend. That's going to give us an interesting buy opportunity in the Dow. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm watching CFDs because it's easier for us to watch, three different indices here. So DAX everything is turning up a little bit on the open, but we all know that this is, the first 10 minutes is just notorious fake out of everything that's going on. Just trying to see what's happening. Pennsylvania has 600,000. There's just nothing. 76%. Everything is frozen, so there's not really any fresh news on the data front. And obviously, all the moves are going to be very contingent on whatever data dumps come in and are updated. But for now, the price action just seems to be mildly open, positive open on the bid without any signals for us to take advantage of yet. This is a trade, by the way, I like to do all the time for my own account. It's not the best, but it works well enough that it's worthwhile. If I'm an inveterate reversal trader, right? I love trading reversals, even though trend is a much higher quality winning trade. So my whole point is, if I am going to trade reversals, at least I'm going to trade reasonable reference reversals. And I love to trade the up arrow in a curling, when the trend starts to curl up to the upside with change directions. I love to take that signal on the close. So if this closes like this, I would have been this candle. It's obviously into the open and all that kind of stuff, but left a big wick, gave us an up arrow. Was an excellent entry buy here if you want to trade the reversal on the side. So Dow's coming in. We got 18, 19 seconds. Will the Dow sell candle print? Because that's step one of our possible trade process. We got 5, 4 seconds. Let me see. 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. So arrow prints. This now puts us into a legitimate buy structure possibility. So let me see, 2036. I'm gonna put this over here. Above. So there's two ways we can try to beat this candle. The absolute high of this candle, which in this case is 68, or the body high, which in this case is really, this is so much. Wow. Let me just get big on this. I'm sorry, guys. Let me get big and make sure I'm not screwing this up. No, that's got to be over here. Wow, there's a big ass wick. That is a big ass wick. Wow. So it's a 55 on the body and a 68. There's a 13-point difference, which is why I'm comfortable. Remember, when I'm setting up my buys, I am comfortable in quote unquote cheating, meaning that that they don't have to beat the high, they can just beat the body because the market is naturally skewed to the buy side, right? Naturally skewed to the buy side. But when I'm trying to when I'm trading sells, I really wanted to break the lows of the candle, not just the low of the body, not just low of the body, to give me a lot more confidence. So we kind of dumped this, the typical usual. Hey, let me ramp it up, and then I'm going to dump it down trade. Looking at NAS is still actually negative on the thing. So let me, let's minimize. Sorry, let me just hang on a second, guys. Let me just arrange my charts here. What happened here? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is what I wanted. Okay, so we're back. This is the CFDs has a potential setup in the Dow. Meantime, let's go look at NAS. Ooh, NAS is like really broke down. This would have been I missed this little setup here. This would have been a big chase. This is a really big chase. Look at the volatility here. That's a 50 to it's a 50-point candle, really large candle, and certainly not one that works in our favor. Trying to figure out if there was, I don't think there's any news. This is just simply the typical let's ramp it, and then we're going to take it the other way. So would this have been a good sell? It would have been a very high volatility sell, but it would have worked because this candle close broke the lows of this, and now it's certainly now it's just creating a massive downward trend. Now the dynamic completely changes, by the way, and one thing I will not do at this point is chase this trade. If I was here, I would have been able to sell it, and it would have made profit. But because I was just not setting up my chart fast enough, I'm not going to chase it, because this is, once you start selling it over here, the retrace risk is enormous. Now we have to wait probably 5-6 minutes for consolidation to let this thing kind of settle down and see if it creates any buy candles which can fail, right? The Dow, by the way, created a secondary sell candle. So now we're going to move our reversal level to this candle. This becomes the reference candle, because now that was the prior candle. This becomes reference candle. Now the price to beat is 692 on a closing basis. So if that comes in, that's actually quite a lot. It's 100 points in the Dow. Dow is really moving big. So was this sell-off all there was, or is this the beginning of a much more deeper continuity sell? We'll find out. But the point is, if this was all there was and there was a big reversal move, we'll get taken into this trade. If there wasn't, there'll be no harm, no foul. We won't get a trade executed. So I'm not worried about it at all. So we'll let this play out. The DAX has no signals. DAX has just been a one-way trade, but no reference points. And the NAS doesn't have any reference points either. So now we kind of build up for the next 20 minutes to see what the reference points are going to occur, and then we can try to trade against those if they do occur indeed. Just trying to see if there's anything on let's put you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to answer. I haven't gotten any response aside from Krasi as to personality-wise, what do you prefer? One trade at a time or multiple positions at a time? Just write multiple or one in the chat box. I'm actually curious to hear your opinion on it. Yeah, I prefer one trade at a time. Wait, what the hell was that? I was looking at something. Oh, I wanted to look at Twitter. I want to see if there was anything on Twitter. Oh, so I totally forgot about the fundamental news. One of the reasons why NAS was trading strong was because California rejected Uber and Lyft labor provisions. That's positive technology also. So technology continues to perform well based upon the idea that first of all, the regulatory environment is more friendly, and secondly, I guess the idea here is that they're still going to perform. Biden leading 12,000s with 90%. Okay, so here's the latest. Michigan, Biden leading by 12,000, 90% reporting. Wisconsin, Biden leading by 21,000, 97% reporting. Nevada, Biden leading by 8,000 with 86% reporting. Pennsylvania, Trump leading by 589,000 with 76% reporting. So, wow. There's also, holy shit. This is what also confuses me. Okay. So far, we got 136 million votes. People were projecting 157 to 165. Either the projections were grossly wrong, or we're like 30 million votes away from final count. And if that's the case, like, this just seems to me so premature in a lot of calls. Like, that's 30 million votes that have not been counted. That could have massive, because there's only two explanations. Either there's a lot of votes that have not been counted, or like the projections were grossly off. I'm just utterly befuddled. I've never been more befuddled by what the fuck is going on here. Yeah, but like they're claiming they're counting most of the mail-in ballots already. I mean, I just think, man, okay, so we got a little price action. We got reference points going on. Not the reference points we want. This is a sell point. We don't have a buy point against which. Oh, we do have a buy point in the DAX. So should we fool around with that? Okay, so we have a buy point in the DAX, which I sort of actually missed on the. No, I guess we didn't clear the buy point. So we do have a buy point on a DAX. Let's sell this one at like 42. So, and it looks like it's not even going to get executed. It looks like we get a reversal point. So I am parked out at around 31. If DAX breaks 31 on a closing basis, that's going to trigger a sell trade for me over the next 10 periods. Ooh, the Dow has turned positive and almost to our entry point. We're at 91, so the flows have really turned a lot more positive. We got 43 seconds to make this trade. Let's see if this takes us into the Dow. The 30 seconds. We're above the trigger. So that's 26 seconds. A lot of time. We got to see if this can hold the levels. But we are now, and it may not. That's the beauty of our setup, is that it's got to prove itself on a closing basis. 5, 6. It does not look it. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Okay, we wait and see if there's more. And now our period time has kind of ended. So I will reset this at like 92. I will reset this against this close and see if it. I'll just make it more precise against this close, and see. We're going to give it another 10 periods to see if the buyers can take a second wave higher. The DAX is forming a higher buy candle. I got to get big on this. Let me see if I want to trade this. Yeah, so I'm going to move. Now I have to move my reference points now. My failure reference point moves up to this candle. So I got 6, 7. So DAX had a big, sharp short covering move. Now we see if the buyers have really turned the corner. If this was a reflex sell, and there's more selling to the downside. So now this has to close on a through this level. It's got to close through this level in order for this to be a legitimate sell trade. We got 35 seconds. What's my 50? It's basically 52. DAX got to close at 52 in order for this sell to take effect. NAS has no trade so far. Looking more bullish than negative. Oh, and we have a lower sell reference point again. So now I've again lowered my sell, my buy entry to around basically 79. So it's got to beat 79 on the upside in order for it to trigger us into a trade. I'm not loving this price action. It's kind of like, very blasé, you can see, but we're going to stick to our strategy. See if we can. Now it's really now it cleared this level significantly. Wow. Now this move. Wow, I don't think this move isn't gonna allow us. We're not gonna be able to take this trade because we have a 20-point. Yeah, this is a huge candle. We have a 20-point volatility. It's a 20-point stop, and this is not gonna work because this is such a big volatility move to the upside that and you see the trade. We have a we have a safety measure where it doesn't allow us to enter if the move of the candle was much larger than the stop. And even though this would have worked, it was so fast and so volatile, it could have just as easily taken us out of a trade as it could have taken us into a trade. So we have these safety procedures put in place to protect us. So this setup didn't quite work out. Still watching the DAX possibly for a fail over here, but we got about 5 periods and probably, this is going to disappear also. And NAS is really not shutting up. We don't have much to set up here in the setup. I'm trying to see if there's anything market moving. So Philly has about 140,000 out of 350,000. So we got a 200,000 ballots in Philly. There is a 0 chance that Biden wins Philly, but it looks like he's winning Wisconsin, he's winning Michigan by very, very tight margins, and he doesn't need to win Pennsylvania as long as he wins Nevada and Arizona, and that's really where it's all it's all shaping up. So the other thing I was going to say is, obviously, we see that in election, when we have large headline-driven markets, the single candle volatility can be so large that even when we have setups, they may not set up, and that's actually fine for what I call the virtue trades, the trades that are purely to spec. If you want to account for the volatility and take the risk of volatility and just simply override the volatility filters, that's also fine, because you understand that in these kind of markets, things are going to move fast and and move hard. Yesterday, I was trading where there was a 40, 50-point move in 5 seconds, and I was I was willing to take those risks because because it's okay. I'm willing to kind of get hit a couple of times on big stop outs if it doesn't go my way, but it did go my way. It's a matter of your own personal preference for risk, but at the same time, understand what you're doing, and certainly always trade with even if you widen your stops to, let's say, 30 or 40, you have to have a stop in these volatile markets, because if there's a massive reversal, it'll be $200, $300 points, completely way out of whack. What else we got here? I'm just looking to see if we got anything going on here. No, NAS is really not showing us any symbols because we don't have any buy side fails. I'm going to cancel this DAX because DAX is just sort of very slow moving, and it's really not the central story of the day today. So they're really not moving around. And I just honestly got nothing else. I mean, the futures are showing me. Oh, the futures actually showing me a fail. Damn, I should have been watching this. I'm sorry, guys. Well, I was watching the CFDs, not watching the futures. The futures actually had a fail signal over here. That would have been another winner. Now it's too late. I'm not going to chase it. Now it's too late because now we're like, that the whole big down move. So we have to set up for the for the next big move. And that's always a trade-off with me because if I'm watching one size, I'm not going to be watching the other. But yeah, we had this. This was a failed candle in the futures, but it wasn't on CFDs because just a little bit of a different pricing. Remember, these candles are all driven by the high-low pricings of the candles, and CFDs are going to have just slightly differentiations so that you won't necessarily get everything matching perfectly. But the futures definitely gave us a great signal here. Okay, so we'll stay patient. There's plenty of trades. There's basically a trade every 30 to 45 minutes. We have 6 hours, so that's should work out to 6 to 7 opportunities for us over the next market close hours. And of course, from here to the end of the day, there's a lot of news to break. So that's it. That's where we stand. All right, guys. Any final questions? Any thoughts? Let me know. Okay, we still managed to bank a little bit of trades. I think we banked just 10. I don't think we did anything more than just the original 10 on the feuds, which is still good. I really wasn't planning to trade today, but I figured, what the hell, we're up. Still good, and there's still lots of opportunities for us to trade going through the day. The key thing is, again, the more you guys trade with me, the more it becomes second nature. The more it becomes second nature, the more valuable it is. I will experiment and test bed the algo. I'll let you know if it's doing what it's supposed to do, and if it is, then then we're going to try to just finish it up. The algo needs, I think, just one final thing, which is the moving average separation variable, and then they might be really ready to go. How can you make use of both EMA? You don't. The only use we make of them is as signals. Like, in other words, we need the blue below the black, right? And we need the blue to be at least two pips away from the black. That's all. That's all we're just using EMAs as trend indicators. So if if blue is below the black, then we're looking for sell trades. If it's above, we're looking for buy trades. Super easy. Is that clear? Now I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. What is your name? Zen. Yes. Okay. Super. Yeah. We keep it simple. We keep it clear. We keep it clean. We keep it profitable, as opposed to my potty mouth, which is never clean, but hopefully always profitable. All right, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I sound so down today. I fucking just hate the politics of this country, and we're all sitting on tender needles, but it is what it is. The great thing is, blue, red, win, lose, we're still trading markets well, and that's all that matters for us. Everybody have a great time. Take care. Bye-bye.